What's up, guys? My name is Jake Thompson here with the Jump Professors, and today we are with Chris Benard, an Olympian triple jumper for the United States. He has been all around the world competing at world championships, Olympic Games, and yeah, so I'm really excited to have him on an interview right now. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a little introduction on who you are.
Well, yeah, I'm a Olympic level triple jumper, but overall, I feel like I'm just like like a normal guy who developed very high in the jumps. Didn't start jumping until I was 17. Got really good my senior year, and then it kind of exploded from there, from junior college to university, then to the Olympic Training Center, then to finally jumping 17 meters, to making my first indoor world team, to making my first Olympic team, and then like 10 years later, I'm over here talking to you. So
Nice. So you
yeah,
started at 17. That's
yeah, yeah.
wow. Was that your junior year of high school or your senior year?
Junior year. Yeah, start junior year.
Wow. And so it only took you 2 years to get recruited. I mean, how far were you jumping that
Uh,
senior year? Well, I
so
heard you did say that you went the JUCO route, but
right.
tell us a little
So
bit
my
about that.
my junior year, I went like 42 feet was my best by the end of the year. And I was probably better at long jump back like 21 feet, but from the school that I went to and from the experience I had, that was like good enough to be one of the best on the team, not even the best. But I played football for a year, so I was like definitely powerful just from our lifting program. And I was like fast enough. Then my senior year, one of the upperclassmen went to UT, Tennessee. He was like the school record holder in the triple jump. He had went 46 feet,
Mm,
and he went to UT and got some coaching by I think his name is like Coach Romaine. He was like a legendary Caribbean triple jumper. And like during winter break, he came back and like gave me a couple pointers. And then like at that practice, I went like 43 feet. So I had PB'd like at the winter break of my senior year, and then like I'm progressing through my senior year through the track season, and he comes back again, and he teaches me like how to bound, like oh, this is bounding. I'm like, oh shit, my coach was telling me to land on my toes. I didn't know I was supposed to land like this. And then I go like 46 feet from there, and I break his school record. And then after the
ooh,
46-foot meet, I go 49 feet, and I'm like the best in the state. So then like I ended up finish. I didn't win state, but I had the furthest mark in the state my senior year in all of California. So like I definitely didn't have, we'll say, the grades or the understanding of track and field to really be recruited properly. So that's why I went to RCC, Riverside Community College, junior college. But like, of course, they wanted me. I'm a 49 foot, like it's like I'm a great triple jumper. I just have no type of like backing. Who knows if it's a fluke or not? But yeah, went there and like stuff really progressed. Well, it didn't really progress, but just everything has been just a stepping stone for real.
hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah. And at what point in your senior year did you hit that 49-foot mark?
Ooh, probably like maybe like midway through the season. So it was interesting. I legit went. It was so first meet 44, second meet 45, third meet 46, then fourth meet 49. And then I was kind of bouncing from that 46 to 49 foot range. Like
Mhm.
I went to like Arcadia. That's where I saw Will Clay for the first time. That shit was mind blowing, honestly. He had went like 51. I went like 48. I got like third. I went to Mount Sac. Some kid from New York beat me. I went 48. And then at CIF championships, I was CIF champ. I went 49.6. That's when that was my high school PB was 49.6. And then after that, like maybe went 48 at Masters, and then didn't jump so well at state.
Hmm. So yeah, you improved you went from 42 to 49 in like 1 year.
Yeah, no, shit was stupid. It it was like when that happened, I was like, oh man, I'm not a football player. I should have been running track this whole entire time. Yeah.
So speaking of
So
football, what positions did you play?
I was a wide receiver and I was a punter as well.
A
So I
punter.
could kick the hell out of a ball. Yeah, yeah,
Dang.
I could boot it. Mhm.
Did you play soccer growing up?
I did, yeah. So I played soccer from like maybe 8 years old to 12 years old or 7 to 12. I was playing like on a club team, but like I was all power. Like if you try to tell me to pass the ball somewhere accurately, like it's going 5 foot left or the other direction, but I could kick it from like goal to goal. So I was always like I always had power and I always had like speed and endurance and agility, but like the finesse part wasn't really there.
Well, that's kind of interesting to say because your triple jumps now. You got that finesse now. And finesse. Nice.
Yeah, it took a
So
lot of development.
yeah, and they say like a triple jump is the is like the masters event. Like you get like better over time because it's like there's so many things going on all at once. Got to build up the like the resilience to it and all that.
For
So
sure. No, yeah, it's and if you don't have like the correct body type, you won't even have the time to do it. Like if your low back ain't strong or you don't have strong, you can still be built up. But like you gotta learn through a lot of pain, through a lot of heel bruises, through a lot of getting jammed up. You learn through a lot of pain in triple jump for sure.
yeah, that's one thing I'm dealing with for the past month or so is lower back pain.
Get used to it,
So
man. Yeah, make it seem normal, and maybe it won't be as big of a deal.
okay. Yeah, I was trying to just like ignore it during my competition, you know, but sometimes it just feels like your brain is holding you back and there's nothing you can do
For
about
sure.
it.
For
Yeah.
sure, and honestly, that's exactly what the brain is supposed to do. Like it's trying to keep you safe. So I mean, I'm telling you to ignore it in the sense that it's like you're going to be dealing with it, but ideally you can like pinpoint it to something like, oh, my low back hurts because I'm decelerating a lot and all the energy is bouncing around in my low back. So if I could move this off of my body faster, maybe I'll be a little bit less pain.
hmm And so have
Yeah.
you, it sounds like you've dealt with lower back pain.
That was never like a big problem. I just know that like it could be a problem for jumpers but it's like there's different types of jumpers. There's so many different ways to skin a cat in life, but especially in the jumps. So like one person has ankle issues, one person has knee issues, one person might have shoulder issues. Like it really is just like depending on your like biomechanical makeup pretty much.
Yeah. And then that's the thing with injuries is like they don't go away, they just kind of migrate to different parts of the
Yeah,
body.
but those are good indicators, honestly. I swear. Like if you're dealing with one thing and then now you're dealing with another, it's like, okay, maybe I fixed this, but this is showing another problem. And I would say like the best triple jumpers are like the most elite. They've like narrowed it down to something very small. It's like yeah, Christian Taylor probably figured out like, yeah, my highest area of weakness is in my ankles or something like that. Let's say he says. And like, okay, this is what I have to strengthen at this point, but everything else is locked in. But like, yeah, it's gonna bounce around. Like your body's gonna tell you where you're weak until you're not, and that's quite the puzzle for real. That's longer than a Harry Potter book for real.
Yeah, those Harry Potter books, those were pretty long, especially that fourth one. I mean, it was like
Yeah,
that big.
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire. So tell us a little bit about your personal injury history. What have you dealt with? How did you deal with it? You know, different things.
For the majority of my career, I've dealt with hamstring injuries. And it's been more from a mobility standpoint. I tore my hamstring like my junior year in college, and but like every time I've had an injury, I've kind of built myself back up stronger. Uh, but for the most part, it's been like hamstrings, and then 2015, I aggravated a meniscus tear. So it's like we all probably have a lot of tears in our meniscus in that like fat pad. And I was doing like an exercise where I put a lot of torsion on my knee, and then after that, it kind of swelled up. And this is where I learned like, oh, this was what can happen to your knee. And I couldn't really put power into it until the swelling went down. And then once the swelling finally went down at the end of the year, I like really built myself back up stronger, and that's when I made the 2016 team. But even still, from there, just probably have a hamstring injury damn near like once a year, pretty much, like legitimately once a year. And then like ankle jams, heel bruises, like I've legitimately damn near rehabbed out every type of like small like patella tendonitis. I figured out how to like get rid of, and yeah, so it's like I definitely see the body as an organism now. So it's like, yeah, I know I have my specific ailments, but I could damn near speak to anything that anybody's going through at this point, just based on how I've learned the body.
Yeah, so speak a little bit on the knee issues because that's obviously jumper's knee is one thing that a lot
Yeah.
of people deal with. So,
So from what I understand about patella tendonitis, it's like it's the calcification of your patella tendon, and that's just I think it's happening because of a lot of deceleration, and your that patella is like the only thing that stops your knee from just blowing out forward. So if you could imagine that thing just like starting out think about it like a journey as a child, where like you're this happy-go-lucky child that has no that's never been beat up in life, and then you kind of just have to get tougher and tougher just to kind of handle the woes of life, and that's your patella tendon. And when it gets tendonitis, it's like damn near a hardened criminal at this point. It's institutionalized, and you gotta like you gotta almost like reacclimate it back to everyday life. So what I noticed was like for me it was eccentric load over a stretch. So it's like slant board knee squats or a slant board single leg like pistol squats were really powerful for me. I was just doing them every day before practice, and from how I understand it, like if this is your knee, and let's say like the tendon now is shortened, the tendon is going like across my hand. Like you go down slow and then you lengthen the tendon, and then under stretch, that's when you um, explode back up. And it's like it's basically strengthening the tendon overload rather than it just always being like pounded and short. But you have to do it slow because it's painful. But as you do it slow, because what happens when you lift, you tear muscle, you tear things down so you can rebuild it. But now you're rebuilding it over length so that it can build back up properly and not under that shortened state. That's how I think of it, and that's how I thought of it. And I feel like I don't even have it anymore. Like I don't even deal with patella tendonitis. I had it for like maybe like a year. But I also just like my belief in what I'm doing. I think also kind of puts good energy into what's happening, and then also just kind of like because there's tracking to it as well. So if you can't do that single leg squat without your knee going inward, then it's like, okay, you might be lengthening this tendon, but you have imbalances that are still going to make you have this this tracking that isn't going to make your knee happy. So there is a lot a lot that goes into it. Like I can't make it sound like it's just like, oh, you do this, you're not going to have no more issues for the rest of your life. Like there's a lot of stabilization that goes into stabilizing that knee, and just kind of taking in as much information and processing it right is I think what would kind of help anybody. Like, there's YouTube videos that go into like that knees over toes guys. Like they're doing an extreme. Like they're trying to make you be able to do like the limbo and come back up out of the matrix, like and like with no support. But and that's probably too much mobility for a jumper. Like we still need to be rigid, but just kind of understanding like both sides of the extreme is I think important for anybody trying to rehab something out.
For sure. And that's one other thing is like finding out what works for like you is going to be the most
Hmm.
important thing, because like all this is so complex that there's not really a one size fits all answer. You know,
For
what
sure.
works for one person might not work for the next person, just because like there's different things that could be going wrong. Like for you, the meniscus tear was different from, or not, I mean, yeah, the tear was different from the patella tendonitis, what could be
Hmm.
different from somebody else's like quad tendonitis. So some
Yep.
like
Yep.
there's different things all
And
over.
that's the importance of a well-educated or a well-informed coach. Because what like me, like I feel like I'm damn near coaching everybody all the time, just because I have so much experience. But like what I've gone through over my career and the pain and the hours spent and the like I've asked trainers and PTs and chiropractors like 10,000 hours worth of questions and just had so many different long conversations. It's like I've done the research, not even purposefully, so I could then tell somebody like you're probably rehabbing that wrong, or you're thinking about your step phase incorrectly, or you're not training in the fall correctly if you expect to have the kind of season that you're looking for. So yeah, that stuff is having a good coach or just having a good mentor, or somebody around that could actually give you well processed information is it makes a big difference.
Yeah. And then I wanted to go back to one thing that you said earlier is like
Mm-hmm.
the deceleration on like your triple jump landings can also cause a lot of like low back issues, the patella tendon issues, because like that's kind of how it feels like personally with my low back issues. Whenever I put my like foot out like far in front of me, it just feels like my
Mm-hmm.
hip, my leg just jolts back into my hip and just squeezes the crap out of my low back. So
Mm-hmm.
tell us like how you practiced that, like getting rid of that deceleration and putting like all the force in the correct direction. Like did you, I've seen a lot of the hop step drills from you. I've seen a lot
Mm-hmm.
of like stuff off of boxes, stuff off of short approaches. So what do you
Yeah.
think contributed a lot to that?
So honestly, it was less the drills. It was more the auxiliary work that I was doing in the training room.
Hmm.
So like I had like a trainer I got like close with, like one of my, she worked at the center, and like I'm kind of circulating through the training room often, and from trying to fix an injury, we would just basically be rehabbing all the time. So it's like, and I'm not missing any rehab appointments, and then the rehabbing all the time turned into prehab. So it's like now I'm going in there trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and I'm learning like, oh, my pelvic floor, I have no awareness of where my hip is at neutral. And it's like, so like if you think about your pelvis, and like we'll say, try to show it from the side, or like if this is your pelvis, and you can tilt like anterior and posterior, so back and forth. A lot of people will have I think an anterior tilt. And if you think about, if where my thumb is the back of your hips, right? And you're tilted forward like this, now your hamstrings are lengthened and your low back is bent. And if you have no type of control or awareness or strength to be able to hold this at neutral through your movements, then it doesn't matter what drills you're doing, you're always going to dump your hips back, and you're always going to have that low back pain. So it's like, as I started to just do things that were allowing me to strengthen these movements, and then I'd go out to practice and I'd do like my A skips and my B skips and all my movements, and I'm seeing I could barely hold this position in my warm-up drills. How am I expecting to be able to do this when I'm doing something at 2,000 pounds of pressure, or I'm doing it at full speed? It's all the things started to correlate better. Because I mean, I definitely remember, because like I came out of college, and I'm training with like Will Clay, and Will is like, he's like a monster. He could just like, if like when he decides to do something, he just does it. And it's like, when you're trying to learn something, you're taking notes from anybody that's around you. So like we might be doing short approach jumps, and I didn't train with Will all the time. I didn't have that, but when I did, I was always trying to pay attention. But we might be doing short approach jumps, and fifth or sixth rep, Coach Fisher might say like, all right, if you jump over this distance, I'll give you $20, give you $100 for the last rep. And I'll see like Will go back, and just like it's almost like steam starts coming out of his head or something. Like it's just like you just kind of see like it's just like, okay, like I'm being tested, time to black out for pretty much. And it's like, and then he'd go out there and just boom a big ass jump, and I'm over like, okay, my turn, my turn. I go back there and I fucking, see my French, try my hardest, my damnedest, and I jump shorter than I did before, because I have no, like, my ability to get into these positions and do it efficiently is so much lesser than his. So I had to learn from that. I had to like take steps back, and it was like, so it's like I always noticed that he would like really boom his last phase, but I couldn't get off the ground on my last phase for probably like my first few years. But it wasn't until my core was stable enough, and I had the ability to step down underneath my hips efficiently, then I actually started popping off on my last phase. But it came more from the efficiency than the effort. But I wouldn't be able to kind of like correlate the two because of what one person was doing against what I needed to do. But definitely like getting that stuff stronger made it so like over time, and getting more efficient in the movement made it so that I can start having a semblance of a great last phase. But definitely, I won't say it was like any specific drills. I needed to have the pelvic floor strength, the core, like the mobility in my hips to be able to get my knees up without dropping my chest. Like it's like a lot of little minute things that are happening that we think is just going to happen from doing these big movements. That's not going to happen until we can at least do it at a small scale and then build up from there.
For sure. Because if you can't do it in like a controlled, like low force, low energy environment, then you can't do it like whenever
Yeah.
you're like the forces
And
are high, the speed is high, it's not gonna work.
it's ridiculous. No, and there's so many great jumpers that just make it look easy, but it's a misnomer. It's I always have to use this word when I'm talking about triple jump. It's counterintuitive. Like it looks easy for them because it is easy for them, and if it's not easy for you, you're not going to make it easy for you by doing it like them. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're going to have to really break this stuff down for the most part. And it's hard to be honest with ourselves about those things sometimes.
Yeah. And it's like it's in almost all sports. Like the easier it looks, the harder it is to achieve. Like I know in gymnastics, like they do the iron cross where they're like doing the rings and holding themselves
Dude,
up and
yeah,
they're just chilling there. But
dude,
little little I know, it's like one of the hardest things that
dude.
you can possibly do. And then
So
you
like,
look at somebody like you or Will Clay, you're out there triple jumping, it looks easy, but then you look at a video like that super slow-mo video where it's breaking
mhm.
down like the force is like 18 times, 22 times body weight on the hop landing,
Hmm.
and you realize this ain't easy.
Yeah, no,
This ain't
definitely
really
not.
easy.
No, yeah. When I think about trying to hold myself on the rings like this, I imagine my eyes popping out of my head, just just something crazy. And this is the same thing as somebody else trying to put 2,000 pounds of force into their leg. Like, no, your knee will explode if you're not confident in the right position, and if you can't move off of it fast, like yeah, you will break your tib, fib, blow your knee up, and tear your calf off all at once if you really try to just attack this thinking it's easy.
Yeah. And that goes back to what we were talking about your brain is trying to like protect you from
Yep.
that. And
Yep.
so like triple jump is kind of like the process of getting your brain to turn off and protect you
Yes.
less while
Yeah.
still like being okay. Like
Yeah.
your brain is freaking out whenever you first do it. Like this is not
Mm.
normal. But then over time you start to get it used to like, okay, this is something that the body can handle, so I'm not gonna like try to protect you.
And
So,
that should let you know how crazy young triple jumpers that are great actually are. They have this thing called reckless abandonment. They don't give a damn. They was like, I don't care what happens to me. I'm gonna run full speed out here and just throw my legs out. Like I'm like Marquise Dendy's a great example of this because he like I mean I have a picture of him. It's like he landed with his ankle on the floor. Like there's no way I could, you know what I mean? Like his foot was turned
oh my
side,
God,
yes,
like he rolled his ankle and his.
but he was like, it's like he's like driving his knee up because he didn't like if my foot is coming down and it's turned like that, I can't commit past it. I just it's like I can't turn my brain off to that level.
No,
He Then he was jumping like 1760 out of position, just running full speed. The kid is so fast. He's so fast and explosive, but he also had that reckless abandonment. And that Will has it. Christian Taylor has it. Zango has it. Zango has it for
yeah,
sure. Yeah, a lot of really great triple jumpers just have like just can almost like it's like I don't care. I mean Teddy Tango broke his femur. No, was it? I hope it wasn't his femur. I think it was his tibia or
the lower
fibula.
leg.
Yeah, I think he did it more than once. Like
Oh my God.
he might have actually. Yeah, it's like it's legitimate. Like, but that's like it's these are indicators of somebody that's like damn near you won't jump over 1750, 1730. Like you have to be really willing to just go for it. Go for it. Like and it's like until you actually try it, you'll kind of almost be there's just levels. There's glass
Yeah,
ceilings to break through.
yeah. It's like what you said earlier. Will Clay just like blacked out and just went.
Black, yes. I've seen it
Yeah,
many a time. Seen Brittany Reese do. I've seen yeah. No, yeah, there's definitely indicators I've seen of like just people that are a little bit different in the terms of their ability to execute in track and field. And I know it correlates to just all athletes, period.
yeah. So I wanted to go back to a little bit more of your journey. So you've been to a lot of world championships. You've been to a lot of, or a couple Olympic games, two or three, two,
Two. Two.
and
Yeah,
that
yeah, two.
was Tokyo and Rio.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your favorite world championships, your favorite moments from the Olympic Games. What do you think?
Mm. Okay, okay. Definitely my favorite world championships was London. That's where I placed the highest. I got sixth. I missed a medal by 4 centimeters. Fourth, fifth, and sixth, we all tied at 17:16, and then third was 17:20 by Nelson Evora.
Hmm.
And I think I went 17:21 in the prelims. Like I had the furthest jump out of the prelims, so it's like I definitely had it in me. Um, just didn't get it done, but it's okay. Had a great time at that championships. Like the cool thing also about London and just speaking English is like it's like I'm outside of my country, of course, but I feel it doesn't feel like I don't feel like so foreign out there. Like it was almost like being at your cousin's house, which was kind of cool. And then the
Yeah,
food out
that's
there, like
yeah. It's like being at
yeah,
your cousin's house. Like it's different. It's not the same, but you can fit in.
right. It definitely felt comfortable out there. And that was probably like my favorite World Championships experience. And then the stadium was amazing. I mean, that was the Olympic Stadium from 2012. The fans were great out there. No, yeah, and I was just firing on all cylinders. Like that was just a really good year for me. And then like probably my favorite Olympic experience is like it was just the like I didn't jump well at either Olympics just for variables that like I probably understand better. I always understand better after the fact, and I just kind of take it for what it is. But Rio, like I was there for 3 weeks, and it was like there was never a dull moment. Like the first week there, just like going to a bunch of different like sporting events. Like I went to like a boxing match. I was watching Olympic table tennis is like one of the coolest things you might ever see. Dude. Like it is so cool, and it's just everything. Everybody was so inviting. You're walking around the village. Like it's like opening ceremonies. I saw like so many just high level like athletes, basketball players, soccer players. Like or it was like I'm walking down. We're walking towards the opening ceremony stadium, and like Serena Williams is right there next to me in the same outfit that I'm in. Like it's just all this stuff that's like a kind of like it's like a culmination of all my work, pretty much, or it's like a culmination of things that I didn't really do it for, but now I get to appreciate because of the work that I got done. So like that was like the whole entire Rio experience. The I remember I didn't make it out the prelims, but I remember being so like almost not necessarily starstruck, but like surprised at the moment in the middle of my rep. So I was like doing my second jump, and like I'm like young and naive. I get a clap started, bam, the crowd's clapping, and then as I start running, I start hearing like yeah, woo, like just like just more noise that I've heard, and and I remember like damn, this is like, but I'm supposed to be just
You're
like going,
running.
yeah, but it's like I'm like thinking to myself in the middle of it like this is crazy, and it was, and it's like it's just I feel like yeah, it's not something that I took for granted. Like however it went, it's like like whatever mindset that I was in, it was like it's a mindset that I was in. It was just cool to kind of like to still have those moments. And I was disappointed at the end, of course. I wanted to be able to try to make it to a final. Like you have high expectations, but I don't take any moment from Rio for granted. The after parties, dude, like crazy. Yeah, being there was one time I have a video. We had all went to a club, just all the athletes, and then like other athletes from different countries go, and like I kind of just I'll bounce around. I like music, so I find my way like behind the DJ at the DJ booth, and I'm like I'll just watch the DJ do stuff with his hands because I want to see if I could tell what's going on, if he's mixing it or not. So I'm just behind the DJ booth, and there's like Team USA athletes here, there's Jamaican athletes, and then Usain Bolt just comes up behind me and the DJ and just puts his arm around both of us. And this is this is like the beginning of Snapchat. So I'm like Snapchatting us. We're like singing together. And this is like, it's 2016. So it's not as much like there's not as much attention on social media at this time. It's just like kind of chill to have your phone out. But it was just like, it's like, damn, like I'm really just out here right now. Just in the mix, but like without even really caring to be in the mix. Like, so just a lot of like just fun, like crazy stuff happening. Just, yeah, just being outside, like just living, having experiences. So yeah, Rio, that was one of those ones for sure. And I think Tokyo would have been one of those ones had the world not been shut down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
I was looking
yeah,
at it and it says 2021. I was thinking, wait, that's not 4 years after 2016. I forgot that it was the COVID
yeah.
year.
No, yeah, it's
Dang.
probably better to forget that one. But I still got it's. I'm glad I can call myself a two-time Olympian, but so far from the Olympic experience. Like it was more of I always say it was like the prison Olympics because we were like we couldn't leave the village. Like you could only take a bus from the village to your practice facility, or it's from the village to the actual event. So and like everybody was kind of afraid to like be around each other. They had barriers up in between our on like at and on like the at the food areas. People were afraid of getting like contact traced out. You could so it's like if somebody that you're around has COVID and they can trace it back to you being in their vicinity, then you have to then quarantine as well. So it was like the whole festival part of it was like pretty much gone. And you could only be there for like a week max. You had to leave 2 days after your event. And if you didn't make the final in your event, then you got to email us like saying like, okay, you have to leave tomorrow. Like, okay,
Hmm.
you're gone now. So that one was it was a weird time for sure.
Dang. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was just that
weird
point in
times.
time though. It was just COVID.
Yeah,
Hopefully that doesn't get. I don't know if that's still like demonetized as YouTube, but we're not monetized yet, so I know
yeah,
different words and stuff. But So you went to Rio. I gotta ask, did you see Kobe?
Kobe wasn't in Rio because of Zika. So there was this.
Rio?
Kobe wasn't in. Yeah, Kobe wasn't there for Rio.
Oh, was he there for London? I think I'm getting them
Yes.
confused. Ah,
Yeah, and because I would have remembered seeing Kobe. I saw like Paul George and like Kyrie, Kevin Durant was there. Yeah, like there was a lot of big name athletes. But so during 2016, there was this thing called Zika virus, and it was
mhm.
spread through mosquitoes, and a lot of people didn't go to Rio because they were. It was almost like they were afraid of it, and
Mm,
like they were even like there was like this. I don't know what they were spraying, but like there would be like this big ass cart that drives through the village, and it's just like blowing off this like smoke. I think it was like supposed to be bug spray, but I can't imagine it being good for us to inhale that stuff.
yeah, I bet the distance athletes suffered.
Yeah, they might still be suffering to this day,
I just like have pesticides in their body now.
forever bouncing around. Ant-Man.
Man. Yeah. So, yeah, those are some great stories. Rio seemed like it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So, I wanted to go back to a little bit of the training. So, weight room stuff. Do you
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of it? Like, do you do squats? Do you do? Because I haven't seen, I don't think many, if any, weight room videos from you. So I'm very curious.
Yeah, we were very serious about our weight room. That strength development or just kind of being consistent at it is it plays a bigger part to our performance than people really even understand. Like yeah, the weight that's yeah, it's huge, especially having a good weight program that progresses you properly through like different strength phases. And Jeremy Fisher was very good at that. So yeah, we did not play around in the weight room, and I think some of my most agonizing weight room years were probably some of my best years. And I think I'm still able to triple jump well to this day because of how strong I've developed myself to be through my weight training for my entire career.
Mm, yeah. So you mentioned Jeremy Fisher. He
Hmm.
coached you, he coached Will Clay. Did he
Hmm.
run like all of your training? Like he ran your track work and weight room work. So what was his role? Sorry. My dog somehow got upstairs. I have no idea how.
No worries,
Let
no
me let
worries.
me go ahead and close the door. We have like the dog gate for absolutely no reason because she always finds a way to get upstairs. So he's like
Smart
this little
dog.
tiny dog that just I don't even know. But yeah, so Jeremy Fisher, what was his role? What was his coaching style? Tell us a little bit about him.
Ooh. So yeah, his he was the one of the coaches at the Olympic Training Center when I first got there. Like elite coaches, one of the best coaches in the world. And his role was basically to develop athletes. So he was basically the overseer of our entire training program. There was a weight coach there, but we didn't use him. Jeremy was doing our weights, and he was doing our training down at the track, and kind of like basically like facilitating everything. And so yeah, training wise, doing all the conditioning, and then like drill wise, he's the one like giving the drills and everything as well. Like yeah, he's doing the whole like doing the entire training protocol pretty much for my entire career.
Hmm. So like right after you got out of college, that's whenever you
Yep,
started training with him? Nice.
yep. Yeah, yeah.
And
And
so
initially I started I was actually working with Al Joyner for like the first like few months of so I graduated 20 or I left ASU 2013. Then went straight to the Olympic Training Center and started with Al, but then I liked Jeremy's training style more because it was a lot more technical. It wasn't like Al was a little bit more old school, which could have worked for me as well potentially. But for where I was at in my career, I felt like I needed to be developed more, and I could tell Jeremy was gonna. I felt like I would acclimate better to his training style than Al's, so I asked to make the switch and I think it worked out well. I learned a whole bunch working with Jeremy. I learned a lot, just even in terms of like workload, how much I actually need to do to get better, what like the specific things that I probably should be working on. Because coming out of college, you really just like you just push and go. And his training like philosophy seemed a little bit more like we'll say like concise. Like yeah, definitely more concise And I think it worked out extremely well for me, just especially because like he's an extremely smart guy, and I'm like I have a lot of questions I want to understand. So like being able to have somebody that can explain different like philosophies or explain different like training stimuluses and make sense out of things just helped me to be able to process the information in a way to where I could build on my understanding of the events as well.
Nice. And so this was all going on in Chula Vista, right? The Olympic Training Center
Yes.
there. And
Yep.
so
Yep.
how are those facilities? I know the weather out there is probably incredible.
So it's so everything, the whole entire situation, honestly, like it's like and this is a whole nother conversation, but like what we were able to do at that place is like is you can't really get it anywhere else. So coming out of college, you have to like you go from a situation to where everything is paid for to having to figure out things on your own. So Chula Vista, at that time, it provided you with a place to stay. You could live at the dorms, but you had to be sharing a room, but it's free. Meals, all 3 meals, unlimited. You eat as much as you want, and they're healthy meals. And like you don't really need to buy food. You had access to the training room, and they had like USOPC chiropractors. You had an hour and a half of massage a week. You had ATs in there, cold tub, and all those things. It was like access to treatment. You had a weight room, a nice weight room at that, with the weight coach in there. That was like watching over. So it's like like you can continue to learn how to lift properly. And then you had Olympic level coaches as well, with like a full track with 12 lane straights and 10 jump pits, and like, yes, like 10, 4 on each side, 2 that are covered next to the pole vault pit. 10, like, I think it was at least 10 throwing rings for just practice, and then an actual ring dedicated for competition events for the throws. And then you were also surrounded by other elite athletes. So it's like you had the encouragement and the like the mindset of elite athletes, because to stay there, you had to either continue to perform or show potential of performance. So it was like I would say the perfect storm of how to either allow athletes to develop to get better, or how to keep athletes at the level that they're at.
Yeah. Seems like a track athlete's dream. Holy cow.
And depending on the program, they would pay for your competitions. So we would fly out in indoor meets that it was covered by them. We'd still get per diem. So they would give us, it was almost like you were still in college but training, but without having to do any schoolwork. Yeah, it was a lot of support that was going on over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, the 12-lane track, ton of jump pits, you get free place to stay. I mean, that seems like, and nice weather all year round.
And nice weather all year round.
Nice. Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
So, I gotta ask, that picture in the top right corner, is that the Runaway music video?
It is. Good
I
eye.
knew it.
Good eye.
You seem like you were talking earlier how you're a big music guy. You got the Runaway music video, you've got the guitar in the bottom right corner. So
Yeah, still working on the guitar. Not so good at it. I'm trying to figure out the ukulele, but I do like music a lot. More like
nice.
I like expression, so I appreciate it. I'm not super musically inclined in my ability to make it, but I can definitely appreciate it to a very high level.
Yeah. So give us a little bit of your music taste. What's your favorite stuff?
Ooh, Kanye is my favorite artist of all time. Kendrick's my favorite rapper of all time. Like, where do you even start? Like, I like.
What would you listen to before competition or like during practice?
So it's like it's like different data. Like sometimes I might be in like a little bit more like a techno boom bap, like not necessarily Kaytranada, but like something that's like upbeat, but like maybe even without words. Sometimes I want to hear some like hardcore, like Pusha T, or some like Griselda type stuff. Sometimes I want like R&B, like just like live band music. Like I really like this band called The Internet. Is one of my favorites. But then like even just like some vibey like Cleo Soul type stuff, or like I damn near want to just pull out my phone, like just kind of like just start scrolling, because it's like I really like if it sounds good, then I want to hear it, and I'm not really trying. It's like I'm trying to curate a vibe more so than anything. So it's like
Mhm.
however I'm feeling is what I'm gonna try to like put forth. But like I mean, even like old school, like I really like Gil Scott Heron. I really like Gil Scott Heron. I was going through like a jazz phase at one point where I was just listening to dang, what's that fool's name? Oh, I'm spacing. No, yeah, that's a tough question. It's like I feel like there's no answer that can really embody how much different music that I like, because
Mhm.
there's not any music that I don't want to like. I want to like everything if I can. I'm not going to sit here and say I hate country music like people love to say, because I mean the live
That's
bands
definitely.
and the instrumentation and that stuff is it's crazy, even like in terms of rock music as well. So like if it sounds good, if there's like expression being put into it, it's passionate, then I'm gonna want to listen to it. Like Frank Ocean, of course, is one of my favorite R&B artists. Weekend,
Yeah.
yeah, like shoot, Leon. Let me even mention Leon Thomas is doing really well right now. Like he's killing it. Masego, Lucky Day, Give You like all this stuff. Like it almost like it's some of it. It's like there's just different vibes, and there's so many micro genres these days. It's really hard to just speak on one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, music is amazing. Music is amazing. Childish Gambino, live concerts, seeing stuff live, it'll change what you like. I remember I went to like a festival like in 2017, and I saw Lil Uzi live, and I was like a slight Uzi fan, but after that, like there's just songs that I'll hear that just takes me directly back to that moment of just seeing him be a rock star on stage. Future, crazy. Future's amazing. Young Thug, I like, man, yeah, Gunna, all them like that. The Atlanta artists go crazy, but then even like the Memphis, like Yo God, rest in peace, Young Dolph. Like and then the New York style guys, like I mean, ASAP's been a little bit quiet lately, but like you really can't just like
I
you can
need
just
him to
talk
come
about.
back.
I don't know if he could have that like what was that long live ASAP type of energy. But I mean, he's honestly such a great artist, and he's such a creative. I'm sure he will come back and do something extremely good.
Yeah.
But it's like there's no wrong answers. I feel like, which makes me feel like there isn't a right answer either.
Yeah, I mean, the cliche is like, oh, I listen to everything but country, you know? You listen to
Why not?
everything, including country.
You should check it out. I think I saw
Yeah.
like the Zach Brown band once. They were really good. They were yeah, like it was they were killing it on the stage. And I seen like Foo Fighters once, and they were like that. The whole crowd was just going crazy. Like there really is like, and every once in a while I kind of happen across a genre that I haven't listened to much, and like or I have like a friend that's a producer, and he'll put me on game to like some like just some like rock stuff. I had asked him, I can't remember the names right now, but yeah, and then like even like who was that guitar player's name? Best guitar artist of all time, Jimi Hendrix. Like there's just so much to be appreciated, I would say, in music, and it's like it's a rabbit hole that you can go down, and like just continue to go. Like there like and that's what's so great about it. Like if the fact that something from the 60s can make me feel like how it feels 60 years later, it's like, dude, like this is this is like human expression, and it's genuine, and it's meant to make you feel this way.
For sure. Yeah. Music is like one of those things that like it's universal to all people. Like all people make music, you know, different types of music. And it's so
Mm.
cool to see just like what people enjoy. You know, sometimes it might not be for me, but I can still
Yeah.
appreciate it, you know.
Also, let
So,
me shout out my boy, of course, Will Clay. Will Clay makes great music as well, for sure.
yes,
Yeah,
I've seen him. I've seen some of his music. Yeah,
yeah.
very. I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, he's going to the music industry now. Okay.
Yeah, he's actually always been doing music. I remember first time I heard him was like on a YG album in 2013.
He was on a YG album?
He is very popular YG songs I'm not going to shout out. But yes, Will's extremely passionate about music, just like he's just about as passionate about music as he is jumping. So definitely to
Nice.
be respected.
That's really cool. Now I gotta ask, your favorite artist of all time, Mr. Yay Kanye West. He's been in the news recently.
Yeah, tough conversation. That is a very hard to understand guy, extremely hard to understand guy. It's like, but as an abstract thinker and as an empath, I try to always understand where he's coming from. But he be saying some egregious things, crazy stuff
He made
that
graduation
I
though.
know. He made so much great music. It's like,
I
but
don't know.
I guess the way I feel about Kanye really is like, I feel like the world did a number on him. The industry did a number on him, and now he's trying to do a number on the industry.
Hmm, that's an interesting way to look at it. A little bit of revenge. Yeah. I mean
No,
that
yeah,
the music industry is brutal. Like a lot of people
yeah,
don't like it.
yeah. Well, I say the whole entire like world industry, like society does. I think society does numbers on celebrities, or does no like if a lot of people have access to you, then I think you start to see like what the masses care about, how they'll make you feel without caring about you at all. It's like, especially if you kind of gave yourself to it. It's almost like same thing with like track and field. Like you give yourself to the sport, but then once you're not relevant enough, like they could give a damn about you, and it could definitely do some weird stuff to anybody that has like invested everything into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard thing whenever you like pour your heart and soul into something and then like it just feels like the world just uses you and then spits you out. And
All right,
that's it.
let me make it clear. I'm not here to defend anything that Kanye's saying. I'm not here to do it. I can't like yeah, that's a
No.
whole yeah, I'm not here to yeah, he's saying some wild stuff. He's saying some crazy stuff, and his motives behind it are always are definitely unclear. But
Yeah.
try to keep a small special place in my heart for the guy at least.
It's one thing to say like I understand where he's coming from. He's just like a bit broken. He's some of it's out of like pain. It's another thing to say like, "Oh yeah, I agree with that."
Yeah, right. No,
Like,
yeah, it's no any. It's like yeah, it's like if anybody says they agree, because they're also like then they need to have a very long conversation about what they. It's like okay, what are you saying when you say you agree? Because like I could accept that I might not understand what Kanye's saying, but if you're saying the same thing and I have a chance to talk with you about it, then you need to put some clarity around what the hell you're talking about. So
Yeah. There's definitely some things that you can't be agreeing with. Yeah, my
yeah,
friends and I, we
absolutely not.
always joke like, "Oh, it's so unfortunate that Kanye West retired after making Donda." We just, we
Oh.
kind of just ignore everything that happens after.
Vultures. He's got some great songs on Vultures 1 and 2.
Uh, it wasn't his best work, in my
Definitely
opinion.
not. I don't think he has the ability to make his best work. But it's like he's so musically talented. It's like especially once I've listened like once you've listened to so much, it's like even if somebody does something easily, I still try to appreciate the fact that they're capable of like this level of production or of like this kind of level of creativity or it's like because he always is doing something like almost like not necessarily genre pushing, but he's like I can't say he's ever making bad music. It's just we hold him to this standard to where we expect nothing but greatness from him, and it's like rightfully so. But I
Yeah,
definitely it's like I'm not here to bash any of his music by any means, even if it's not his best stuff.
yeah. And he has been pushing the envelope in music for his entire career. I mean, like one thing to the next, like graduation with the more dance music type stuff with Daft Punk, then you
Pop,
go 808s, and then
yeah.
Drake came out of that, like all of these different like R&B and
Mhm.
rapping kind of
So then,
synthesis came out of that. Yeah, and
what's your
then
favorite Kanye album?
ooh,
Or like, let's hear your top three. Actually, let me hear your top three.
my favorite solo Kanye albums is probably Late Registration first, maybe Graduation next. Shoot. This changes every single time though.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
I mean, just the first three are just so good. I can't choose between them. I do like this is like a hot take for whatever reason, but I like Kids See Ghosts, that one with Kid Cudi.
With Cudi. Yeah, yeah.
I like that one.
Okay.
I like 808s more than most people.
808 is
Um,
it is a musical experience. It's a musical journey. The whole it's a symphony. It is there's a yeah, that is I would have loved to see that live.
oh
I
yeah,
wish I could have seen that live.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I don't care for
That's
Pablo and I don't really care for Ye that much.
I like Life of Pablo. It has some really great moments.
It does. I just don't think like holistically it's as strong as the other ones. But
Yeah,
compared to most other people, it's very good.
I would. So the only one that you left out was My
Uh,
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Are you not a big fan of
oh,
that one?
I actually totally forgot that existed. That is definitely in the top four. and it's probably not 4.
So I'm talking. Yeah, okay. You see, you said that. Okay, that's probably like my favorite one. It's just like it's like everything Kanye. It's like it's almost like everything that he was and everything that he was about to become as well. Like it's oh, that album is crazy.
Yes. I
And
think
then
it
like
has his like peak moments of his whole career.
dude, yeah. And the fact that Nicki Minaj might have the best verse on there blows my mind. And her monster verse, oh my gosh, she went crazy.
Monster. Yeah, So
Um,
Appalled though is not my favorite track.
you don't like that song?
Uh,
It's the
Not
rapping on
really.
there. There, to call it out and just for not liking it, you must really not like that song.
Compared to the rest of it, I don't like it. I need to revisit that album, but you know.
Definitely revisit. But yeah, no, I definitely I can appreciate your Kanye taste, and as a longtime Kanye fan, like you definitely get my stamp of approval, even though you forgot about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I mean, yes, I did. I did. I knew I was forgetting something, but I couldn't remember what it was. Oh, and then Yeezus too. I like Yeezus.
I
It's
like Yeezus a lot. I
it's
just
very good.
compared to My Beautiful, I feel like it's just not as good as that one. So it's like if I'm gonna talk about albums, I'm gonna talk about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy first, and then I'll talk about 808s before Yeezus as well. But Yeezus is also really good.
Yeah. So, nice little music chat.
Tacky, yeah, yeah.
Let's bring it right or sorry, can't speak English today. Let's wrap it up with a little bit more track stuff. Give us a little bit of advice, like the first thing that comes to your mind for young track athletes, things that you would have wanted to know back whenever you were first starting, midway through your career, like
Ooh.
just stuff that you think other people would gain gain from.
I'll say the first thing that pops in my head is like do everything at 100%. Like don't feel like your work is enough. Like not in a way that's like be hard like being hard on yourself, but in the idea that like in track and field like you're in like a maximizing sport. So everybody that's trying to be great is trying to do everything that they can to be great. So if you're cutting corners, then you're only holding yourself back. Like there's a this is such a biomechanical specific sport to where efficiency is so important. So to think that people would kind of go out there and like half-ass their warm-ups or like not like run through the line or like skip reps in your weights, like all these little things. It's like if that's the difference between an inch in your jumps or like a millisecond in your sprints or anything, then why would you let it hold you back, especially over accumulating over time? Like, especially now that I'm coaching too, that's probably the thing that bugs me the most, where it's like why like if you really want to do this, then why wouldn't you show up every day and give it all that you can? Like, why are you afraid of pain? Why are you like, yes, the workout is gonna hurt, like, but did you die? Like I know that's extreme, but just in the sense that like push yourself, like allow yourself to be sore for a few days. Like it's like you really can grow as a person from just trying your best at this thing. And it's like I know once I started to understand that about track and field, like I that's when my development just started to grow for real and never stopped. Like it really I haven't once I started working out like that and just doing everything to the best of my ability, like I really haven't stopped developing since. Like mentally, like yeah, I'm not at my physical peak or at my physical prowess, but I still have the ability to execute on things very well just because of how
Yeah.
locked in I've been throughout my whole entire career. And honestly, like I had a long conversation with Christian Taylor just the other day, and he was kind of just like giving me like a glimpse into the mind of like the best triple jumper in the world. And it's like the like what these guys at the top like how like he was legitimately obsessed with triple jump, like obsessed. Do you ever watch Hunter x Hunter?
I
The anime?
haven't. Oh, my friends tell
Oh,
me I need to watch it, but I haven't
you
watched it.
should. There's this character named Rapika, and she had to learn how to use these chains, and it's based on like her connection with the chains, and she was hallucinating chains, she was sleeping with chains, she was like she was just legitimately like just obsessed with them so that she could manifest them whenever she needed to.
Hmm.
And like that is like Christian with triple jump. It was like this is everything, and I'm going to put everything into this. And that's how you become the best in the world. So it's like, if you want to become the best at anything, you got to put your everything into it. Or if you want to be good at it, like how you want to be good at it, but you're not even putting in a good effort, putting in a bad effort, expecting to be good, like you're wasting everybody's time.
Yeah. And then what you're talking about, like if that one rep or that couple reps was the difference between like an inch or like a millimeter off of your time,
Hmm.
like it's worth it to do, especially because if you
Absolutely.
do it more, like if you do it a ton of times,
Dude,
you're gonna lose out on more milliseconds and it's gonna add up more and you're gonna eventually you
dude,
could have earned a foot, half a foot, a meter, but you didn't because
dude.
you didn't put the 100% in.
I've never PB'd and been disappointed about it. I don't care if it's a centimeter, a millisecond. If I did a little bit better than my best, that like I can't, and I've never heard anybody say, oh, I PB'd, but it was only by like, or like they might like, even if they said it, it's like, it's like I PB'd. Like I did better than I ever did. Like there's, and if you're working towards that, then it's like you need to PB every day for if you want to if you expect to be able to PB in competition. Even if a
Yeah,
PB or that day was just like I kept my mind clear to the like better than I ever did that day. Like no, that is an accomplishment
yeah. And every day is like an opportunity to grow. Like you
hmm
can improve on one thing, and if you improve on one thing, then you're better than you were before. And that's
for
like
sure.
you PBing is like a person.
Like one of the coaches that used to work with Jeremy, his name was Bashir. He would always talk about making investments in the bank. Like,
Mm,
oh, like make your like, did you make your investment today? Like, yeah, like
not
that's
yet.
always stuck with me too. Like we're making investments. Like yeah, make a good investment today. Like because it's gonna pay dividends. That's yeah, like it's so.
Yeah. Yeah, one coach I've heard is he says like, "Did you put the hay in the barn?" Like you're putting all this stuff away so that you can like you have it and you can take it out and perform whenever
Hmm.
you need to.
Exactly,
So,
same concept.
yeah. So that's so important. Just putting in like a little bit more effort, improving from yesterday, from two
Mhm.
days ago.
IQ,
You know,
it goes a long way. It goes a very long way every day. Yeah, for real.
every day. Yeah. So I think that's a great place to end it out on. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Talked
Of
about a lot of
course.
stuff. We talked about your experience at like national competitions at Rio. Talked about your training, music, Kanye.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then the importance of just improving and putting in 100% every day. So I think it was a great conversation. So tell people where they can find you and then what you're going to be doing in the future. You said that you're coaching at what school was it?
Cuyamaca City College in San Diego, or it's in Rancho San Diego. But you can find me on pretty much all socials at fly with two Y's, like Chris B. Follow me if you want to fly like Chris B.
Fly like Chris
But
B.
yeah, I do plan on doing just more content, more informational content, just trying to kind of spread the word. I have a lot of passion just about like mental health, physical health, just wellness, general health, and I'm always just trying to like help. So the content that I am posting, if it's not extremely informational, ideally it's at least dope and has some good music behind it. So yeah, yeah, follow me there. Same thing on TikTok. I'll try to post whatever videos that I post on Instagram, also on TikTok, and I am trying to put a little bit more out there, just in my own time and at my own speed. But I definitely plan on just getting more information out there to the people, and hopefully they're receptive to it.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. A lot more informational content. I do love his Instagram. He's got some of the best triple jumping content on Instagram that I've seen. So smooth, so nice.
Appreciate it, man.
One
Genuinely.
thing I forgot to ask is I don't know why, but like whenever you're triple jumping and stuff, you look really tall. How tall are you?
I'm 6'3". I'm not
Yes, you
ridiculously tall.
for a jumper, that's pretty tall though.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I always downplay my height. I always say like I'm average tall. Like so, it's like for a tall person, I always downplay my height. I swear I do. But yeah, I'm taller, I guess, than most of the triple jumpers out there. Honestly, yeah, actually, other than like Jordan Diaz is really tall. I'm taller than Christian. I'm probably taller than Pedro. Who else might be taller? Yeah, Lazaro Martinez is really tall. That guy's lanky. But I guess I am on the taller end of triple jumpers.
Yeah. So 6'2" or 6'3"? You
Yeah,
said
six
6'3".
three.
6'3". Average
Yeah,
tall.
that's what I say. That's how. Yeah, it's like because you could be below average tall. Like maybe like you'll say 6'1", 6 foot, but you're still seen as like maybe tall. But then there's like above average tall, like you're
Yeah,
6'4", 6'6", 6'7". I'll say I'm average
you're
tall.
like you're tall. Yeah. That's funny. I'm gonna use that in the future. That's a good one. All right.
Yeah,
Well, good luck with your coaching. Good luck with your informational content. I am very excited to see it. Thank you
absolutely.
for coming on the show, and yeah, have a great day.
Yeah.